So, you're a founder. You've got the idea, you've got the vision, and now you're facing one of the first, most critical decisions you'll ever make. Who's actually going to build this thing? Do you go with a full-service development company, or do you hire a squad of freelancers? This choice can literally make or break your startup, and today, we're going to get right into it.
And let me be clear, this is so much more than just hiring someone to code. No, this is a huge strategic decision. It's going to define how fast you move, what your real budget looks like, and honestly, whether your product has what it takes to survive out in the real world.
Because here's the thing you have to understand. You're not just buying code. What you're really buying is a system, a learning loop. It's a machine designed to get you answers from actual users as fast as humanly possible. And when you think about it that way, well, it changes the entire equation.
This loop has 4 key parts. First, there's discovery. That's all about figuring out what to build. Then, design, testing those ideas before you commit. Then you build it, you make it real. And finally, you measure to see if you were right. This whole cycle, that's what you're really investing in.
Look, in the very beginning, a long list of shiny features is not the goal. You don't need that. What you need is evidence. You need proof. Proof that people actually want what you're building. Proof that they'll stick around, and proof that your code is solid enough to be a foundation for what comes next.
All right, so let's meet our 2 main contenders for building this learning loop. In one corner, we have the MVP development company, and in the other, a hand-picked team of freelancers.
And here is the fundamental difference between them. A company, well, that's like buying a fully assembled car. The team is already built, they know how to work together, they're ready to go. With freelancers, you're the one in the garage picking out the engine, the chassis, the wheels, and you're the master mechanic putting it all together.
So, it's a really clear trade-off, right? On one hand, companies offer you predictability. You get a team that's already in sync and has quality checks built right in. On the other hand, freelancers give you incredible precision. You can spend exactly where you need to and pull in some super specialized talent for very specific jobs.
But of course, each one has its potential downsides. A company's hourly rate is going to look higher for sure, and sometimes their process can feel a little heavy. But with freelancers, you, the founder, are the project manager. You're the coordinator, and you own all the risk if a key person suddenly decides to disappear. That's a huge weight to carry.
This chart really helps break it down. When does a company make sense? Well, if you need a working product like yesterday, and you want it done in a couple of months, they're a great bet. But if you're comfortable being the product manager, your scope is really tight, and you're willing to trade your own time to save some cash, freelancers can be a fantastic option.
Okay, let's really get into the nitty-gritty now. We're going to compare these 2 head-to-head on the 3 things every founder obsesses over: cost, speed, and risk.
I love this quote because it's so true. It's a huge warning sign, like just looking at the hourly rate is a rookie mistake. The real cost has to include all the time you're going to spend managing, fixing mistakes, and dealing with delays. And trust me, that can add up faster than you think.
Think of it this way. A company's rate already has the coordination baked in, which means things just flow better. With freelancers, you might see a lower hourly rate on the invoice, but you're paying for all that project management separately, either with your own time, which is your most valuable asset, or by hiring someone else to do it.
Now let's talk speed. An experienced development company can often get you a solid working MVP in just 8 to 12 weeks. And that's not because they type faster, it's because they decide faster. The whole team is a well-oiled machine that's built to turn ideas into reality quick.
And risk is about so much more than just the project failing. It's about all those hidden problems that bite you later. Things like forgetting to set up analytics or not having any automated tests. A good company usually builds in these safeguards by default. If you go with freelancers, you have to be the one to remember to ask for them.
Which brings us to this crucial idea I call surviving day 2. Anyone can build a great demo. It looks amazing, everyone gets excited. But a demo means nothing if the whole thing crumbles the second real users start poking at it.
Day 2 is when that beautiful, perfect demo gets punched in the face by reality. It's the first angry email from a paying customer hitting your inbox. It's a big investor asking for a new feature, and you suddenly realize your code is too messy to support it. This is where having a solid foundation is absolutely everything.
So what does that strong foundation actually look like? It's not rocket science. It's choosing a modern, reliable tech stack, nothing too trendy. It's having error tracking from day 1. It's doing some basic QA, using a staging server, and writing down just enough documentation so the next person who touches the code knows what's going on.
And listen, these 3 things right here, they are absolute non-negotiable deal breakers. You cannot afford to overlook them. Basic security, knowing the rules for compliance if you sell to other businesses, and having an ironclad contract that says you own all the work. You get this stuff wrong, you could lose your first big customer or even your company.
Okay, that was a lot of theory. Let's make this super practical. How do you actually sit down and make this call? Here are the green flags and the red flags you need to be watching for. When you're talking to a development company, here's your cheat sheet. The good ones will insist on a discovery phase to understand your business. They'll give you full access to see their work. Red flags? Anyone who promises you the world without asking hard questions, or who tries to hide their project board from you. Run away.
And for freelancers, the signals are just as clear. A real pro will have a portfolio of stuff they've actually shipped. They'll ask you for clear goals, and they won't be afraid of a code review. But if you meet someone who hates writing things down, pushes unproven tech for no good reason, or is just impossible to get a hold of, be very, very careful.
But wait, what if it's not an either-or choice? You're right. Hybrid models can actually give you the best of both worlds. For example, you could have a company build the core product and then bring in a specialist freelancer for one niche task. Or, if you've got that product management experience, you can act as the leader for your own small, focused team of freelancers.
Now, if you're going to go hybrid, you have to follow these 3 rules. They are non-negotiable. First, one person or one company has to own the entire process. Second, everyone plays by the same quality rules. And third, everyone works from the same playbook, the same project board, no exceptions.
So, at the end of the day, this all comes back to you and your startup. Forget what everyone else is doing. Take a hard look at your own resources, your time, your money, your expertise. The real question you have to answer is this: which of these paths is going to get you to paying customers the fastest? That's your answer.